Yep.
What's going on?
Well, I'm considering getting a breast reduction.
Don't do it. Let's go to the next call, Drew. I think our work is done.
Talk to her for one quick second.
Lisa?
Yeah?
Why?
Yeah.
You're young.
Well,
You have your whole chest in front of you.
Boozem.
I know, like, I was just, like, my guy friend was just, like, said something about TNA, and I just started feeling really self-conscious about myself.
Well, let me get your dimensions. Not
Okay.
because I want to, but because I'm compelled to.
Okay.
You're 16.
Yeah.
You're how tall?
5'5",
How much you weigh?
125,
And what is the bra size?
34C.
C? 34C. Okay, so all right, Drew, I'm never going to say this again, but let's skip right past the brass
There we go.
and get to what
going
your
on,
real
Lisa?
problem
Yeah.
is. What's going on? Because that was just an excuse to talk about what's going on. So what's going
You
on?
guys aren't treating you right?
No, it's okay. I mean, I'd never had a problem before, and then one of my friends just said something about TNA, and I just started feeling really self-conscious.
Okay. That's something that has nothing to do with... Think about what you're thinking about doing. You want to carve yourself down so you look like a little girl again.
Listen,
I mean, Lisa,
all you women who want to get a breast reduction, go for the ass reduction first and then see how that works.
it is a very sometimes painful and scary reality to come into adulthood and to sort of recognize that you're changing and that your body may have a different meaning to people, and it could be a responsibility, and it could affect people in ways that you don't like. But it's you, and you'll learn to deal with it, and it will be an asset one day. You'll grow into it, so to speak. You should feel great about
Come on,
yourself.
Drew, what's happened to you?
What? Oh, my voice?
Yeah, what were you doing all day today?
This is just bronchitis I've got.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You sure you're not coming unglued?
No, not at all. Why? Am I talking like I am? Speaking like I am? I mean...
I was talking to the head of UPN like 3 days ago, and he said, "Hey, you know, a couple months ago, Drew was on the radio, and it sounded like he was like having a nervous breakdown. Was that for real, or was that just acting?" I said, if you believed it, it wasn't acting, because Drew can't act to save his life.
Was I just yelling at you or something?
I think it's when your son got a cut.
Oh, yeah.
When he went through the plate glass window or something, you were going nuts.
I was going nuts.
All right, so Lisa.
Yeah.
All right, listen, I got you figured out.
Oh, you
No,
do?
she is...
No, I don't know where you're going with this, Drew. It's not the breast, but I can hear it in her voice.
It's
There's
about
something going on.
being a sexual being and coming into that adult reality and what that does to other people.
How
and
do you
what
know
that
all
means.
this?
Because it's a real common thing.
Hey, Lisa,
Yeah.
what grade are you in now?
I'm a junior.
So you have...
One person says to her, "Hey, you look a little bit sexy," and she flips out. Can't handle it. It's
no.
too much.
Have you had boyfriends?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you a virgin?
Yeah.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
It's okay. Don't think of the feeling. What kind of feeling do you have?
I'm getting a weird feeling. Are your parents together?
No.
No. Are they religious?
No, not really.
No. Anything weird happen to you?
Nope.
No problems.
No.
So you have a C cup, which 34C, by the way, if you did a poll of American women and asked them to write down the cup and the size that they would want, I think 90% of them would write 34C.
Most cosmetic surgeons will tell you when they're going up in size or down in size, the target is C.
Right.
That's most where people end up.
Right. It's
So
to
no,
me, it's a little off the bullseye, but that's all right.
Listen, when people go through puberty, there's a lot of pain attached to giving up the
But
fantasies of childhood.
Lisa, you weren't seriously considering a breast reduction, were you?
Yeah, I'm really thinking about it.
No, Lisa, no one will do it, first of all. So you
They're
can
not
think
gonna
all you
do
want. But get involved with figuring out who you are as an adult, and forget about other people. Think about Lisa for a little while.
All
Other
right.
people are going to react as they react.
Drew, I don't know. You're on some jag about that. I'm not completely with you on it. I hear something in her voice. I don't believe she's really serious about it. And I thought there was more there, but I don't know what it is. But anyway, 34C does not make a reduction.
Well, there's something about her childhood that she's not willing to give up, basically.
Right. Okay. Let's start the show. I'm Adam Carolla. It's Dr. Drew. Phone number 1-800-LVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. Drew is a board-certified physician, Dixon medicine specialist.
You okay?
Our guest tonight is Andy Lauer from Carolla in the city. Andy, we had on the TV show. I think he was one of our first guests.
Yeah, the first week or something.
Right. We'll bring him in after the break anyway. But Ann just said he's here. It's Caroline City, NBC. It's been going on, I mean, like
At least
4 seasons.
Hey, he was on our show 2 or 3 years ago, and it was already not a new show.
And to me, it felt like he was there right at the beginning of our show because I remember being horribly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Now I go in there and dress to wake me up after the commercial breaks.
Before the show.
And I'm pissed off. Drew, I told you never to wake me during a break. All right, so Andy will be in here in a couple of few. Jamie.
Hello.
What's going on? You're 17.
Yeah, I'm trying to come out to my parents, but I'm having a really hard time because they're both born-again Christians.
How do you think they're going to react?
I really don't know.
Just give us a guess.
I think they're going to try to drown him.
They'll probably.
They'll probably spin out, right?
Probably.
Why? What's the hurry then? Why would you want to put yourself through that?
I'm just so sick of hiding it.
Which one do you hate more, your mom or your dad?
Probably my dad.
All right, so you tell him first.
Yeah, imagine that.
Tell him first.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
Now,
Jamie.
you know our theory about this, don't you, Jamie?
No.
Okay. Drew, should you explain?
Before you tell them the theory, I just tell them what to do. We believe that you should wait a little while. That there's no point in putting yourself through that misery until.
Hey, guess what, suckers?
That was good.
That was good. Anyway, for somebody who is thinking about coming out, we have a theory that you should.
I want to talk to Jamie.
This guy's an asshole. You can talk to him.
Hey, Jamie.
Oh,
you bastard.
That you should wait. That putting yourself in that kind of situation where you're dependent on those. Well, let me just make the point.
All right.
That you really wait to get out of the house, develop a network of friends who are also gay and can support you and been through this.
Well, don't say you. He's not gay.
As someone who is going through this process. Wait.
Jamie. Here's the thing about the bogus calls on this show. And people ask us this all the time. I thought this call was bogus. Didn't you think that call was bogus? How do you know that call's not bogus? Here's the deal. Quite honestly, we don't care. Here's the reason we don't care. As long as it's a problem that other people may experience, then it's worth answering.
Yeah.
And you understand? I mean, let's put it this way. Let's just say we're doing a automotive, home improvement show.
Yeah.
And somebody called in and said, my floorboards squeak. I have hardwood floors, and whenever I walk across them, they squeak. I live on a raised foundation floor. Now, you'd go ahead and explain how to fix it. And then if the person yelled sucker and hung up, it wouldn't really matter because there's probably a couple 100,000 people listening who just learned how to fix their squeaky floor.
What would you do?
It's a tough call on a hardwood floor. On a carpeted floor, and this is obviously on a raised foundation, because if you're on a slab, this slab ain't squeaking, and if it is, that's a poltergeist, and it's time to get out of the house. But the deal is this: you have floor joists, and nowadays they put floor joist adhesive, or subfloor adhesive they call it, down. It's a bead of glue that never quite dries.
Oh, that's nice.
And then, no, that's good, because that goes right on the floor joist, which is like the 2x8s going along the floor, and then you put the plywood down right on top of that. And the reason the glue never dries is so it doesn't get brittle and snap and doesn't squeak. You understand? It's almost like
plastic.
Yeah, it has a little give right on top of that 2x8 or 2x6 or whatever your floor joisting is. And then what
1 3/4 by 5 5/8, whatever it really are.
Whatever it technically is, yeah, 1.5 inches by 5.5. Now, you then in the old days they would just nail it off, and in the real old days they just used 1x6. They didn't have plywood and they didn't have subfloor adhesive, and they just nail it off, and that's why it squeaks.
Oh boy.
Now you'd put the subfloor adhesive down, and you'd put some coarse thread bugle head type drywall screws and sink the screws in there, and the screws never loosen up.
I see.
So you're okay. But you really want to
tear up the whole floor.
You really. Oh yeah. I mean, if you got to start new if it's bad. Now, what they do if you have carpet is you can put a drywall screw, find your joist, put the drywall screw all the way through the carpet. It'll just pop through the carpet and go down into the joist, and that'll.
Anyway, as far as the bogus calls go, the other thing is about them is there's nowhere to go with them. We can always talk about the bogus because we need a lot of information about.
Hey, you didn't know that one was bogus.
Yeah, we just didn't get off the ground with it even.
Oh, okay. All right. Ashley, well, I don't care if they're bogus. I've always said that. As a matter of fact, if someone wants to call up with the most outlandish, if someone calls up and says, I'm having sex with my St. Bernard, I'm doing it right now, and I believe them, good enough.
But that's
fine.
But we won't if they're not actually experiencing something like that, though. See, it's not like home improvement because it's not an important issue to somebody. You can always tell. Ashley.
Yeah.
What's up?
I've been taking Zoloft for depression, and I've been... Are you going to say something?
Drew's going for the wallet.
What?
Could be something here.
And I've been thinking about getting pregnant, and I was wondering if that drug would affect the baby, or if I should, stop taking it.
Picking up the little girl voice?
Oh, yes. And more than that, even. Listen, in general, I am not a believer in women who are pregnant being on medication unless it's absolutely necessary. I'm sure there are some risks with Zoloft. I don't know how severe the risks are, so obviously you'd prefer to be off it if you possibly can. Okay? But what do you mean you're considering getting pregnant? Are you married?
No.
Drew's going back for the wallet again.
Why you want to have a kid?
Well, the reason I'm on the Zoloft, I had my baby died.
How long ago? What happened?
Well, I know the exact date. I mean,
How long ago? What happened?
April 27th, 1997.
So about a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
And what happened?
I've been trying to...
What happened?
Huh?
What happened?
The follow-up was, what happened?
It was my doing, and I'm having a hard time with it.
You mean you had an abortion?
Yeah.
That's a little different than your baby dying. I don't mean to be too callous here, but hey, Ashley, don't suck us in. Now Drew's really going for the wallet. Look out. All right, hold on a second, Ashley. We got to gamble on you. I know it sounds cruel, but hold on.
Okay.
It's because we love you. All right. You got the little girl voice. And listen, all you meatballs out there, couldn't you hear something in Ashley's voice, the first three syllables? I don't look at the screen. I have no idea what these people want. I just look down and doodle. Drew, would you back me up here? Do I ever pre-read any of the calls? Do I ever have any idea?
You're not capable of it. You're not.
But Drew, how come I try to turn a compliment? How can you turn a compliment that I feed you into a critique?
You just heard it.
You son of a bitch. You know what I'm talking about?
You want people really to believe it. The fact is you don't. You can't.
All right. But just agree, would you? Do you have to get in the reading part?
All right. Well, you are my teacher. And it's not so much the reading part, it's the focus part. You're focused and you don't want to be distracted.
I'm focused on doodling. Yeah. All right, listen, I'm going to take that $1 away from you now, big shot. Ashley. All right, so she's got the voice. And she's got a few things going. A flair for the dramatic.
Histrionic, baby.
Ooh. 26, I'm not so kid. Go ahead, Drew.
You go.
Okay.
It could be a lot of things.
I know. You're thinking of the Grand Slam.
No.
Arrested at a young age. Something happened. Daddy died. Daddy took off. Something dramatic. Somebody died. Dad died. Dad
Yeah, okay,
split.
go with that. That's good. Dad died. It's good.
Dad died. Okay.
I was thinking along those lines.
Dad died, yeah.
I'm going to say Dad split. Mom just became incredibly involved and intruded. And
really?
Became the focus of Mom's life.
You're not getting any sexual, physical abuse in there?
I think something happened as a result of that, her trying to get away from the intrusions of Mom. Probably somebody did something to her.
Last night we did some gambling. Drew said moved around a lot and molested at 7. But lesbian affair, if you call it affair, experience at 7. Caller came back. Well, we moved around a lot. And when did you have this? Did anyone touch you? Yes, 7. My God. It's amazing how lucky you are, Drew. Ashley.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Let's check in your history real fast, and then we'll get to the Zoloft stuff. Where's your dad?
In Monroe somewhere.
And where?
Monroe.
Monroe?
Yeah.
That's where they buried him?
No.
No. When did he cut out?
When I was, I think we moved away, in my 9th grade.
Why?
My dad went to prison.
For what?
Molestation.
Of you?
No, my best friend.
This was your dad, of course, so he probably wasn't the greatest dad.
No, he.
Let's not be hasty to judge here, Drew. Let's hear.
Well, he beat us, you know, and stuff like that. But he molested. He went to prison only because my friend turned him in for, you know.
And you were about the 9th grade then?
Yeah, it started. We were in and out of court from 6th grade to 9th grade, and he was finally sentenced in the 9th grade.
That's got to be a lovely experience for a 6th grade girl. Can you imagine that, in and out of court with Dad for feeling up her friend? Oh, the humanity.
And Dad was what?
We had to move because of, you know, we were being hounded, you know.
Yeah. All right,
That's the beauty of living in L.A. is you don't have to move. All the a-holes, pedophiles, gang members, they're all here. There's nowhere to go. You know what I mean? You can't get hounded or ridiculed. You're just it's like you're in the toilet. Where are you going?
Ashley, look, you've had a less than adequate experience with your primary relationships, and so trying to have good experiences in your adult life is going to be difficult. The last thing you want to do at this stage is to bring a child into the world. People do not allow women just how devastating an abortion can be to them. There's a tremendous loss, a biological change. It's a miserable experience, but given the circumstance you're in,
and
you know, it's one of...
I said I would never do that.
Okay,
but then,
well,
you know,
then why don't you really...
Get pregnant,
but why don't you go all the way, Ashley, and really this time work on yourself, work on having a stable intimacy, and creating an environment that actually is genuinely healthy for a child to come into the world and then get pregnant. It's going to be hard for you because you've had all this chaos and this abuse. It's going to be hard.
Can you... I hope she's not listening, but can you imagine her... And it's not her fault because of where she comes from, but can you imagine her as a mom?
Yeah.
Isn't that...
That's why it takes generations for stuff to wash out, you know?
Yeah.
Because one parent does one thing, and then the next one, that child has a child and has to finish the business.
Let me explain what we have to do. I am going to be like the Tide the detergent, and Tide the ocean that sweeps across this nation. Stop it, everybody. When you're the victim of abuse and this and that and the other, don't run off and have your own kids. Believe me, you'll screw them up. Stop with the plan. Stop it. It's the worst plan I've ever heard in my life. Don't do it. Until you fix yourself, then you can go ahead and do it.
And you've had a track record of having been fixed.
No, you have to get a note from me. Harmony.
Yes, hi.
You're 20. What's going on?
Yeah. Well, I read the other day about a drug that was on the market for pedophiles, actually, and it had been tested.
Yeah, it's called ecstasy. Really? Going.
Is it
no, it's supposed to stop pedophilia.
Well, then stop. You talking about GnRH?
No, it starts with a T, and it was like TRCETIN, I think. Supposedly it was some type of chemical that blocked out the fantasies and the behavior from...
Oh, that's interesting. I know there's lots of medications that are being tried. One of the things is to give them a chemical castration. Give them Lupron. It actually shuts off all the testosterone production.
Does it actually happen?
Yeah, and it works. In fact, we had a call last night from a woman.
It works?
Well, it helps. I mean, it blocks the testosterone effects at least. It doesn't completely eradicate it, obviously. But just a point I want to make is that we had a woman last night who was getting the same medication for endometriosis. And those women can lose bone mass over time. And there was just a study came out today that shows that giving them a parathyroid hormone may prevent that. I know it's fascinating to everybody, but I felt compelled to, after last night,
all our stoned 15-year-olds are riveted to the radio.
Be that as it may.
Larry, hold on, parathyroid.
The other thing, people have used antipsychotic medications. People have used serotonin reuptake inhibitors that blocks libido. So it doesn't surprise me that they'd be trying to zero in
here's how you stop a pedophile, a pool cue. That's right.
Where?
Right. Well, first one's upside the head, and the next one's right to the genitalia. Please. I'm tired of people not being able to control themselves in this society. Let me give you just a quick list of what's wrong. Murder, pedophilia, rape. That's all I can think of. Stealing and arson. And larceny, even though I'm not sure what that is, I hear it's bad. To me, larceny is what is it? Lewd contact mixed with arson. It's like when you burn something down with your pants down.
Get the dictionary behind you.
What is larceny?
Let's look it up. Give me the book.
How come you don't know what larceny is? Is it like a mixture between rape and arson?
I don't think so.
Is that larceny? And then there's grand larceny. As a matter of fact, I think there's only grand larceny. Maybe you have to steal something that's expensive. Do you think that's what that is? Larcen must be stealing. All right.
Okay, wait.
Drew, it would take me 3 days to look up larcen in a book that fat.
Larceny, mercenary soldier, unlawful taking of personal property with intent to deprive the rightful owner of it permanently. Thief.
Right, so it's not borrowing.
Stealing.
Yeah.
Stealing.
But you don't hear larceny, you hear grand larceny.
Grand larceny auto.
Okay, wise ass. Andy Lauer is here from Carolla in the city. He'll be strolling into the studio. We'll take ourselves a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Loveline to Drew.
Yes, you is. Phone number 1-800-LVE-191. Andy Lauer's here from Carolla in the city. Andy, we had on the TV show, I swear it was amongst the first batch, talking to the one closest to you, I think, Andy. And go ahead and turn the guest mic on.
Oh, it's the other one.
Oh, okay.
It is the other one?
Well, listen, wise ass.
This one?
Do you have the Osmonds in here tonight? Just put one mic out, would you? Okay. All right.
Thank you. Oh, this will be a great show now. So, Andy, from Carolla in the city.
Yep.
I swear it was at least
Gonna be one of those.
2 years ago. It was the first week or something we were filming, right?
I think it was the first week. Yeah, you guys pretty much had it down.
We were a little green then.
Adam, you look healthy. You look the same, and
Drew looks like ass,
Drew,
right?
I think it's
grayer.
Well, you've got family
Yes.
and kids.
Oh, yeah. Look at him. He's a mess.
No, you just look, how do we say, healthier.
You look a little disheveled.
But they'll all see, because you guys...
I put on like 20 pounds since then. I've been working out.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You really?
Yeah.
I put on 20 pounds. I've been working out.
It's all muscle.
My pants are the same size and everything. So.
Okay.
That's right. And he's got a big penis. I saw it in the airport in Cincinnati. Where were we? St. Louis. All right, let me talk about Andy. Well, we all know Carolina City, Monday night, 9 o'clock. This show has sort of crept up and turned into a success, although it wasn't a... Actually, let me give you my vague take on Carolla in the city. Came out with a bit of a bang.
Boom.
But people expected it to sort of drop quick and go away.
Right.
And yet, here we are in the fourth season.
It won't go away.
That's good, right?
Yeah. It's a good thing, for sure.
Yeah.
I think, didn't you guys start when we started?
No.
No, I think you'd been on.
Both coming into syndication money?
You'd been on. Oh, no. You'd been on. We don't even get paid for the days we show up. Forget about the days we're not there. Andy, you'd probably been on Carolina City a year and a half, or the show had been around a season and a half or something like that before you came onto our show. But I want to talk about some of these other undertakings because they're kind of interesting. You're doing a documentary on the North Pole, undersea.
Yeah.
North Pole, that airs the 28th on Discovery Channel. Now, what did you do on the documentary?
Crew member. Carry bags.
You did craft service,
wash
mainly?
dishes.
Well, do you narrate, or are you there,
No,
going
my buddy,
through the things?
a buddy of mine, John McKinney, he's one of the preeminent documentarians on undersea life. And he asked me to join him in Australia last year for a shark documentary. We went down in the cages, and that went really well. So.
How cool was that? Well, hold on one second. Were you in the shark? Were you in the cage with a great white swimming around?
Right. Yeah, great whites. And there's this thing called cage jumping where it's really pretty crazy. You go from one cage to another. It's about maybe 15 feet.
Oh, with the great white around somewhere?
Yeah, when the shark's not looking. It's called cage jumping.
Absolute insanity. I was just watching a thing on great whites. First off, if everyone just close your eyes for a second, great whites get up to 4,000 pounds. Now, here's the thing. That's 2 tons. Your average car weighs about 3,000 pounds, and a good-sized Lexus is still under 4,000 pounds. The Lexus 400 with everything on it, or the Mercedes, the big 7-class BMW 7 Series, whatever.
This is going to be an analogy to a great white?
Yeah.
The point is a great white outweighs that car.
Yeah.
That is bizarre to me.
Yeah, but it's
something that lives.
Right. It's a little different than having a Lexus coming at you, though.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying, I mean, I think it even makes it that much more impressive that this thing is the size, is streamlined, and goes through the water 30 miles an hour.
Adam,
Is he rambling?
No, he perceives everything in relation to wood and cars.
Oh,
Okay,
he's a
you-
male.
Yeah.
He's a guy's guy.
It is like a skip load of Cindercrete. All right. So the point is I know we want to get to we got to get to the undersea life, but I don't care about seals. I'm talking about these great whites. What's the biggest great white you saw?
His name was Jack, and he was pretty small guy. He's about 18 feet.
And did they?
Baby Jack.
Do they know the sharks from the markings they have on them, scars and stuff like that on their fins?
Yeah, the shark wranglers. I don't really know how they know these guys, but he was kind of a local shark, one of the local guys that they knew, and he was Jack. And Mary was she came around a little bit. Sharks are really territorial. They don't well, great whites are. They don't swim in packs.
Mm-hmm.
They walk alone.
Yeah, because they're so bad that
Nobody
they
wants to be
eat
friends
each
with
other.
them, even themselves.
And were you in the cage and throwing the chum out and doing the whole thing? Was the thing banging up against the cage?
Right, you know that term, chum? But
Yeah.
you don't know larceny?
No, I was hip to larceny. I said it was stealing.
Yeah, we both did that.
Please. Listen, don't get insulting. I won't plug the show. All right. We'll get to the we got to take some calls, but we'll get to the triathlon and Zuma Sunday and the movie and all that good stuff and the dengue fever that Drew's going to sort out. Drew, you know about the dengue fever?
Yeah, we were just talking about it.
All right, so we'll talk about that for the night is over. That's something that Andy contracted. Mike, so ladies,
Hello.
you never get rid of it either. Mike, you're 14. What's going on?
Hey, my friend recently found out that I was uncircumcised, and he was always making fun of me. And he said that no woman would want to have sex with me. And I wanted to know what you think about that.
Well, he's right.
It won't make any difference. America is one of the only countries in the world
You know, those
where
guys in France never get laid.
where circumcision is the more common state. You understand? It's very...
Put it this way, 90% of the world is uncircumcised, and look how fast those idiots are populating.
You all right, Mike? It won't make any difference. You understand? Mm-hmm. It won't make any difference.
You're fine, Mike.
Don't feel bad about it. That's your friend just poking at you in ways that he knows will bother you.
Okay.
It's funny. My kids...
You understand? And by the way, let me say something, too. I don't know what the percentage is, but I can tell you that 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago, it was probably 85, 90% of males in the United States were circumcised, but it must be 50-50 now.
It's getting to be a lot less. It's funny, my sons are beginning to see the difference, and Douglas, who's sort of a card, comes in one day and goes, I saw, Bill's penis, and it looks like a volcano. What was that? What happened?
Maybe there's some discharge or something, or it's actually about the shape. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. You got to get them into therapy immediately. Okay. Isn't it great, though, the way teenage guys work, which is they know the penis is the Achilles heel of all. I mean, they go right for the penis. They start making fun of it, and you're screwed because you're 14 years old.
You're dead. And
the deal is you've never been laid, and you think there's maybe a 75, 80% chance you'll never, ever get laid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and now it went from like 75, 80% of never getting laid. It's 98, 99. Maybe you could find a really, really drunk chick from like Hounslow who would have you.
But not with a volcano penis.
Right. Sheila.
Yeah.
You're 15.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I love your guys' show, and I learned like a whole bunch from you guys.
Thanks.
Okay.
Okay.
Susie.
Is that it, Sheila?
Okay, bye.
Thank you. You talking to your dog?
What?
Who are you talking to?
My friend.
Oh, okay.
All done?
Come on. What? Yeah.
It's a tough question. Just go for it.
You're silky smooth, baby.
What's going on,
Hey,
Sheila?
put Susie on the phone, would you?
You want? No, her name's Candace.
I mean, Candace.
Okay, wait. Here, talk to her.
Yeah.
Here. Who? It's Adam. Oh, okay.
Hey, what's going on there, Susie?
Candy?
Not much.
Candy?
We're just kind of having fun at her house.
All right.
What's your question?
Okay, what's your question here? Do you want to tell her more?
Listen,
No.
I'm going to come over there and give you two the beating of a lifetime. Now tell us a question.
Okay, here.
I think we're
All
right
right,
done.
that's it. All right, listen, you jack-offs. Can girls be jack-offs?
Sure.
Sure.
Stop wasting everyone's valuable time, except for me and Andy's.
It's not valuable.
It's not valuable, no. Kayla,
Yeah, hi.
you're 20. What's going on?
Well, first off, Dr. Drew, I heard you say that you were an addictionologist.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know what that was exactly.
That's a board certification offered by the American Society of Addiction Medicine. So if you are a specialist in pediatrics, internal medicine, emergency room, psychiatry,
Right.
or family practice, and you spend at least 50% of your time treating addicts, you're eligible for this board.
And by the way, that's how you answer when you're not lying. When our listeners lie, you'd say to one of our listeners, so you're a dictionologist? What's that entail? Huh? Hold on, dude.
And I just have I have an addiction to a drug, and I was clean for about 2 years through NA with the sponsor, the whole
Great. When was that?
shebang. When was I clean?
Yeah, from when to when?
Okay, it was 2 years ago up until about a week ago.
So you're about 16. Oh, I'm sorry, 18 till recently. Okay.
Yeah, that I was clean.
Do you have a parent in recovery?
No.
Okay.
What'd you get back on?
Vicodin or something like that?
Heroin, but I'm not back on it. I mean, I just did it once.
Oh, okay.
Once in the last week?
Yeah, a week ago.
Well, but that's how heroin addicts go out.
Well, it's not addicting, is it?
Yeah. Kayla, are you smoking or are you slamming it?
I need. I put it in my arm.
Well,
But
you're on your
I've never
way.
shared one or anything like that. I've never even had unprotected sex
All right.
in my
Well,
life.
Kayla, heroin is a very difficult drug to stay sober from. I mean, you've done a great job with the 2 years you were able to maintain abstinence, but something's gone on in your sobriety. You either lost the priority, you stopped going to meetings, lost your connections with sober peers.
It's not that. It's that I really have no impulse control. I get the idea in my head, and I get completely sweaty and
Yeah, well, that's the biology of that drug.
Well, how'd
It's
you put
interesting.
together 2 years with no impulse control?
You weren't drinking or smoking pot or anything during that time?
no.
Okay.
No, I mean, I was clean. And I've
Oh,
been clean before. That wasn't the first time. The 2 year stretch wasn't the first time that I was off it.
Yeah.
It's the other time. Like, that was the long stretch. I mean, I've had a long problem
Do
with
you have
it.
any other psychiatric problems?
Not that I've been diagnosed with.
Have you ever been in therapy?
Have I ever been in therapy?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was like, I guess from 13 to maybe 15, late 14.
You may want to revisit that. I mean, you're obviously your connection with.
I'd revisit it and kick the guy in the nuts.
But your connection.
You're in therapy for 2 years from 13 to 15, then you become a junkie at 18?
Well,
No, it was before then.
Your connection with sobriety, though, is obviously reasonably good and sincere, and your program was solid enough to keep you connected for a couple of years. So,
I mean, I really want to be clean.
Right.
I don't want
Hey,
to be back.
Kayla, hey, listen to me for a second.
I'm listening.
You know, you're pretty good. I mean, 2 years is a hell of a run for someone who's
Yeah.
20 years old.
right, and that's why.
All my buddies, I mean, they didn't sober up until they were early 30s, and the best they could ever put together is a couple of months into their 20s. So that says
you're
a
ahead of
lot.
schedule.
Which is why I'm suggesting things like therapy, that kind of thing, because there might be something else that was starting to surface that overwhelmed her and create this impulsivity. Because it's not the usual thing that the biology becomes so overwhelming 2 years out. That's the kind of thing that occurs 6 months out normally. But Kayla, the deal is get a lot of structure, make 1 billion outreach calls, reconnect with your sponsor, think about going to a sober living, because this is a wake-up call. This is the beginning. This is where it starts. It's not. Don't expect those impulses to go away just because you gratified it once. They will get more intense and more frequent.
Are you athletically inclined at all?
Oh, wait a minute, there she is.
I'm not athletically inclined, but is there like any kind of drugs? Because if you're an addictionologist, that you can treat me with them?
Well, you're not addicted again, right?
He's going to send over a pack of drugs.
I don't need, like methadone or any of that horrible stuff. I
No.
just need like something to control the impulses.
Well,
I mean,
that's
they're overwhelming.
Okay, that's one of the reasons I'm suggesting you get evaluated by somebody to see if there is something maybe biologically can be useful. There is. I'm blocking the name of the drug. Basically, it's an opiate blocking agent. It's called Revia now. That's the trade name. And it blocks the effects of opiates. So if you do try to use the drug, you won't get high from it. It tends to help maintain the structure in your sobriety in case you become overcome by
Drew, how do they make up those names?
I don't know. They just make
They
them
all
up.
got like Effexor and...
Hey, but even, the Effexor, for instance, the real name is venlafaxine.
Right.
Also made up. Both names are made up.
Isn't it usually the man who actually makes it up? So
I don't know. It's bizarre.
Venlafaxine sounds like a rabbi. Hello, I'm Venlafaxine. Shalom. The high holidays are coming on. All right, it's everyone. Dan Stora. I don't know. If you're going to make up a name, might as well make up something that people can pronounce and it's easy to remember. And there's nothing called like Crapadrill, right? I mean, it all has a name like Claritin.
Yeah.
And the thing is they're geniuses, these people, because Claritin is an antihistamine, right?
Yeah.
Which are notorious for making people drowsy and out of it.
That's right.
So you work clarity right into it, and you think, this isn't going to make me drowsy.
Loratadine, made up.
Aleve? Coincidence?
Naproxen.
I don't think so.
You know what I love about Aleve are the commercials. First off, the guys, they always got a guy like shoeing a horse. He's doing something, and he stops, and his wife comes around. And the wives are always like 3 times smarter than the guys. Harry, what's going on? This back's killing me. Why don't you take some of these? And they're couples who never communicate except for when there's a camera crew around. Take yours. I've got mine. It's like, oh, wait, you know what your wife takes, don't you, Drew?
Yep.
Hey, she knows what's in your medicine cabinet, right?
Sure.
You don't have to, like, have a discussion out in the barn about what you guys are taking. And then the great thing is when the guy opens his hand, and there's 175 pills, and he says, I used to have to take this many. Now I just take a half of an Aleve every year. All right. Andy Lauer is here from Carolla in the city. We'll talk to Andy about the triathlon coming up and get into the undersea life in the North Pole and all the exciting crap you're doing that we're not. We'll be back. Yes, you are. Andy Lauer is our guest tonight. He's from Carolla in the city, Monday nights, 9 o'clock, NBC. He has got a couple things coming up other than that. He's got to undersea life in the North Pole documentary, which airs the 28th on Discovery Channel, which I love, by the way, all that Discovery Channel crap. I just can't get enough.
That is your classroom.
I sit around and watch the History Channel, watch Discovery Channel. Mm-hmm. Then I have dreams about Hitler.
That's nice.
Hitler in like a sea otter. That's what I dream about.
Wow.
All right, so tell me about this documentary. You went to the North Pole?
Went to the North Pole, yeah. The great thing about the North Pole is it's so far from a soundstage. It's about as far away from Los Angeles as you can get. There's no 7-Elevens. I actually brought a night reading flashlight for up there, which was a really foolish move because it's 24 hours of sunlight. Which makes you go kind of insane. Actually, one of the guys, the assistant cameraman, he went a little crazy.
That would not get me as much as 24 hours of dark.
24 hours of dark.
That would make me nuts.
But not having a schedule that's sort of dictated by nature would be weird.
Your body actually reacts to the sunlight, and so without it, your cortisol cycles are up. All kinds of things are changing. So you can spin out from that.
Yeah,
so,
he went pretty schizo. It's just a series of cat naps.
How long were you there for?
About 3 weeks.
And what were your accommodations? Where did you sleep?
You move around. You just have a tent and a foam pad, and you kind of go with. See, the ice breaks, and you don't want to be left on an iceberg, per se, because you'll just float out to sea.
And how do you get around?
Yeah, ski-doo. The dog thing doesn't really happen anymore.
Really, you like a little you mean like
snowmobile?
Snowmobile.
Yeah. Snowmobile.
And how many guys? Is like a caravan of those things?
Yeah, there's a whole community that goes out there. It's the season's only about 3 months.
How do you know it's not like the Great Race? You're going to wake up on an ice pad somewhere.
You truly don't.
Great Race.
That's
Max,
the danger and the beauty of it.
Max.
The great thing is diving under the ice shelf.
Did you do that?
Yeah.
Oh, in one of those dry suits?
Right.
But
you're so cold that you have no motor skills for about 20 seconds. You can just kind of go through water like you're in space.
Even with the dry suit on?
Yeah, because there's nothing protecting your head except about 1/8 an inch of rubber.
So you're diving underneath the ice,
right?
And is the light coming through the ice?
Yeah, it's the light comes through much like on a cloudy day, and the sun's peeking through every once in a while.
You see any polar bears?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
How weird would it be? Because that would be a very trapped feeling. I mean, the whole thing about being underwater is getting to the surface. Mm-hmm. And if you get to the surface and whack your head on 3 feet of ice, how do you get down under it? Do you have to drill a hole through the ice, or do you go out and then swim back?
Yeah, no, you drill a hole. You drill a hole. Or you find an ice crack.
Which could close up, right?
Well, no, you don't.
He's talking about.
I mean, you've got
Eskimo prostitute. By the way, when he says ice crack, has nothing to do with diving. Well, a little something.
You've got a full support team upstairs.
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah,
what a life! I mean, 1 minute you're in the water with a great white. The next minute you're humping a seal underneath in the North Pole underneath the ice cap. Man,
that's my thing to do in the off season.
Yeah, my thing's to nap and masturbate. Really,
that's off season, on season, or what?
Oh yeah,
that's the
year
weird
round.
thing.
That's right.
When it's so cold, I never got a Woody. I didn't get a Woody for 3 weeks. I never had a hard on. It's just so cold that whole thing doesn't respond.
And then how do you get out of your dry suit into your clothes? I mean, you're standing on a lump of ice, right?
Takes about an hour.
Oh,
an hour.
Yeah, you're just so cold. It's a really slow process. Brushing your teeth is extremely slow. Going to the bathroom, 1 is kind of hard. Number 2 is forget it.
Yeah. Well, number one, your stream can actually freeze from your penis to the bowl, and you have to karate chop it to get away.
Watch it come up.
Oh my God. Well, it is. It's kind of true that. It's interesting that freezing is basically just slowing down molecules until they stop.
Right.
And so it's like if you put you in a freezer, all your molecules start slowing down too.
You slow down.
Oh my God. Wow, what an adventure.
Okay.
Must have been spectacular. I'm scared of polar bears. Polar bears they have to be the most cuddly looking animals in the world, but they'll just kill you. They'll just kill you just to watch you die. That's polar bears. Katie?
Hi.
You're 19. What's going on?
Well, my first 2 sexual experiences weren't exactly something I would call pleasant. The first time, I don't really feel like I was raped, but I was under the influence of alcohol. And
how old were you?
I was 18, and this was the summer after I graduated from high school.
Okay.
I'd been in a really bad relationship with somebody for a while, and I think that I was trying to get away from it.
Sure.
By, giving it up to some guy who I didn't know.
Right.
And it was actually more upsetting as I got further away from it. As time went on, it upset me more.
Okay.
At first, I think I kind of tried to put it away like it wasn't something that happened.
How'd you know the guy?
I met him at a party.
And
Typical. I was really, really intoxicated.
Did you have sex with him that night?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then I came to school, and there was a guy that I knew from a project we were working on together, and we ended up sleeping together, but it really didn't mean anything to me. And both times I was intoxicated. The second time I was much less intoxicated, but I still didn't get anything out of it.
What's the question?
Well, I had a boyfriend. Well, I do have a boyfriend, and we've been seeing each other for a while. And he's the first guy I ever had sex with without being intoxicated. But I still never have an orgasm. And I've always wondered if...
How long you been doing that with him?
2 months.
Did you have an orgasm when you were drunk?
No.
Do you masturbate?
Yes.
Okay.
When you're sober? Andy went 3 weeks without masturbating when he was on the ice cap, which is a new personal best for him, by the way. I'm just playing a hunch there.
We've done other things that have fulfilled that need, but never during sex, never during intercourse.
He performs oral sex on you?
Yes.
And you have an orgasm?
Yes.
No, you're fine.
You're normal.
Oh, come on, no.
Katie, that's good. Normal. That's normal.
Yeah, but it
You're
worries
19.
me it never happens during sex.
That's more the norm than not.
Couldn't it be him that he hasn't really hit her G-spot yet?
It's them ultimately. Of course
it's always our fault.
Yeah, but it's both of them together. But the fact is, she's functioning at a level which is sort of already above average. She's having orgasms. It's through oral sex. That's the way women are and prefer sometimes.
Here's the deal. If you are having orgasms that you're inflicting upon yourself, you're ahead of 30% of our callers, our female callers who are 18, 19 years old. If you're having an orgasm while there's another guy in the room and he's doing something to you, you're 65%. You're ahead of 65% of our 19-year-old callers. Yeah. And it's only the highest echelon that is actually having an orgasm via penetration. Right. So all you ladies that are overly concerned about that, it's not happening for a large percentage of females out there,
especially
and even larger at 19. Yeah. For some reason, when you get older and you get in your 30s and you don't care anymore, then the orgasms come fast and furious.
Is a woman's orgasm, is that a learned thing?
it needs to be learned for many women, and it's a totally different mechanism. Not totally, but very different than man.
Is that why our sexual peak is in the 20s?
No, that's a different issue, but it's why men don't have... You don't hear men calling about difficulty having orgasm, unless it's a biological problem or
Well, and
severe trauma.
look at it this way, guys. If guys don't relieve themselves, they will have a wet dream. I mean, their body will force an orgasm on them.
I still have those.
Did you have one up in the polar caps? I mean, 3 weeks is a long time. You must have whacked off on the plane on the ride home.
As soon as he warmed up.
No, I had to get.
As soon as he thawed.
I had to get back in the States. I had to get under like the 39th parallel or something.
Right, and then it was. Woo! Oh man, but that must have been a big one. Could you imagine that? Oh, all right. That'd be a good Carolina City episode. Kurt,
I'm sure they have discussions like this
Yeah.
amongst the cast members there.
You're 20.
Yep.
What's going on?
Not much. Just busting nuts quick.
All right. We got to go to break. I can't go through another one of these.
Kurt?
Yeah.
You're talking. You want to talk about busting a nut?
I'm having orgasms quick.
Oh, you are? Okay.
But, it stays hard. So.
It does.
Yeah.
All right. And then can you have sex again and have another orgasm?
Sure.
All right. So what's your problem?
I just wonder. Is it normal? I always thought, when I was younger, sure, you get off quick or whatever, but as you get older, ain't supposed to slow down, or is it?
You're not older yet.
Yeah, that's true, but I don't know.
It's true. You're not older yet.
Just like tonight, I was dry hunching, and I got off.
Hunching?
Dry hunching.
Dry hunching.
You never tried that? Oh, it's a hoot.
It's like dry. It's like when you think about dry humping. When you have a I'm Carolla's Dr. Drew. Andy Lauer is our guest tonight from Carolina City. NBC Monday nights 9 o'clock is let's see, NBC new fall lineup. Yeah, that's next week, right?
Monday.
That'd be nice.
Right.
This Monday. Next week.
Yeah. That's a new
This
episode.
being Tuesday. Wednesday.
Thursday.
Wow, that was a fast week.
Oh, God. You know what that means.
Whoa.
It's tomorrow's
see you
Friday?
at 7.
Oh, for Christ's sake. You picking me up?
Yeah.
Good.
7:15. 7:15.
What gives?
Drew and I are going out of town tomorrow, which means Drew picks me up at 7 o'clock tomorrow at my house, and
In
we
the AM?
argue. Oh, yes. And I don't go to bed a second before 2 because I don't get home until almost what?
Right, that's the point.
We begin the arguing about 7.
Argument officially begins at 7 when Drew shows up.
Usually it's like, hey, you said 7:20. It's 7:18. That's where we started last time.
And here's how our drives to the airport work. Drew gets on the phone and starts talking to people because he's a doctor and he has to talk to the hospital.
I've
He's gotta
noticed
talk to
that he
everybody.
keeps walking around this booth talking on the phone.
One day he's going to figure out a way to talk literally out of his ass, and I'm convinced he's going to make phone calls out of his ass while he does this
Medical
radio
breakthrough.
show. Oh, yeah. Can you imagine that? Oh, if it had teeth. Can you imagine how painful that'd be for your lover? The point is Drew talks on the phone, and then about every 8 minutes turns to me and he goes, which way? And I go, go straight. And then I don't want to talk to him because he's on the phone, so I start doing hand signals where I take my arm like a traffic up straight. No, right, straight. And I just guide him all the way to the airport. I don't think he ever looks up. He just, he looks at my hand and stares at the wheel of his car, and he never knows where he is.
That's true.
So that's the excitement. Then we get to the airport, and then the real arguing begins. I don't know why that is.
Denver closer to San Francisco than Los Angeles.
Yeah,
we fight about this
we
stuff.
start arguing over locations. It's great. Suzanne,
Hi.
you're 16.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, what's going on?
Well, I was listening to your radio show earlier, and you said something about breast reductions.
Right?
And I usually agree with almost everything you guys say, but this I just really couldn't agree with.
We'll get you to agree with us before we're done with this call. Go ahead.
The reason that I think that breast reductions can be good for younger women if their body's already starting to be deformed by them.
Of course.
And
We
I
wouldn't disagree with that.
Oh, great, because that's something that I don't think I've never heard you mention in all the times I've heard about.
Well, here
If you got to go deformed, though, that's the direction to go, as opposed to like a club foot or scoliosis.
There is sort of an axiom.
Oh, yeah, I'm rather large-breasted, and I can already see that I'm becoming deformed by
What
it.
are you coming in at? Just for later, for me and Andy.
Oh, size-wise?
Yeah.
38 triple D.
Ooh.
Is that...
Wow.
Yeah, I have a lot of back problems,
Yeah.
and my shoulders are starting to hunch forward.
Right.
And I think it's really important that you stress that if you do have a serious problem like this, that it's going to have to get taken care of. And if I wait too long, the damage could already be done.
Suzanne, I agree with you. It is an axiom that they try to wait until the women are 18.
Yeah.
Okay? But we know of plenty of cases where it's been done at 16. And certainly the reason would be physical. That the back, the neck, the shoulders, the bra strap grooves, these sorts of things are
But wait a minute, Drew. How much damage can be done
back?
Oh, okay, but hold on. If you get, let's say, the reduction done at 19 or 20, is that permanent damage from 15 or whenever it comes on?
Yeah, you can end up with some persistent back problems. Sure.
Really?
Yeah, I mean that's why women with scoliosis are putting back braces when they're growing to try to prevent that. So
yeah, it's bad now. I have the deep shoulder grooves where my bras go already.
Yeah.
My shoulders are constantly tense.
But Suzanne, what we were getting at was trying to discourage women from feeling bad about their body just because people objectify them or make fun of them and this sort of thing.
Hey, Susan, she was a 34C.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a different situation. You call in, you're 16, you got a 38 triple D, you want to talk about reduction, we'd gladly talk with you about that. But when you call in to say I'm a 34C, I want a reduction, and then you get into, then there's...
if I was that, I'd be ecstatic.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be jumping for joy.
And that's going to be your target size, I bet, right?
Probably something like that.
Right. That's
so when you getting your reduction?
I probably want to do it over the summer before my senior year because I don't want to wait too long.
There is an issue, too, of regrowth,
I'd be 17.
Suzanne, that's another reason they like to wait,
How big?
I've stopped growing a long time ago, and my weight has not fluctuated in probably a couple of years.
How big's the rest of you?
I don't know. I'm pretty normal.
Really? How tall are you?
5'8".
How much you weigh?
I don't know, like 160.
What's your phone number?
That's funny.
All right. No, all right. So you're all right. And let me ask you a quick cup size question because nobody can answer this, or at least to my satisfaction.
Uh-huh.
How many double digits or double letters do you go before you hop to the next size? Like there's no double C. You go right from C to D, but there's a double D. And apparently you're wearing a triple D. But when do you get to E? And then you rent these porno movies, and they say they have quadruple
V.
R, and you're going, what the hell does that mean? No one gets to that.
Those are technically, I would happen to say those are probably made-up sizes.
Right. Now, does your bra say triple? It doesn't say triple D on it.
Yes, it does. It's also called an E, so technically they are the same thing.
Huh.
Why would you call a triple D an E and have an E and a triple D be the same thing?
I don't know. It depends.
Folklore.
Some places,
Cost.
certain companies will call it an E, and other companies will solely call it a triple D. I think they want you to feel like you're smaller than you are.
Does
but it doesn't work.
everything beyond that have double letters also? They're double E, double F?
No.
So
I think
D,
from then on
D
it's only one.
is the only one that has multiple...
I believe that is D would be the only
There's
one.
no double A, there's no double B.
There
there's
is
no
a double A.
There is a double A?
There's a double A, which is smaller than an A. Now, a double B is larger. A double D is larger than a D.
So this is a cultural thing.
Wow.
This is some weird cultural
See,
thing.
this guys are in charge of this. Is this what happens when you let chicks loose? They start coming up with this kind of nonsense. Believe me. It turns it on. They want it to be some sort of code, so we can't figure it out.
It's algebra.
Guy'd go small, medium, large, jumbo, and get the camera. The biggest one would be called get the camcorder. Be the GTC. All right. Oh, boy. See, we never have a person call with a complaint about this show that isn't experiencing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And I believe just wants to talk about it.
I'm sorry, I've been out of the country. You guys are pro or con breast reduction?
When necessary. I mean, listen, if it's a physical abnormality, if it's doing damage to you, absolutely.
We are against women, particularly young women, carving on themselves because they feel uncomfortable and men have objectified them. And that they need to first begin to get used to who they are and maybe one day learn to appreciate and love what nature has provided them.
Oh, yes. As I appreciate and love it.
Yeah.
Renee.
Yeah.
What's going on? You're 27.
Yeah, basically what's going on is my father is he's abusive to his second wife, my stepmother, and my younger sister. I want to get her out of. I'm afraid that I know that this situation is affecting her.
How old is she?
She's 12.
Ugh.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want to.
Where's Mom?
My mom. Well, her mom or my mom?
Well, both.
Well, her mom is the stepmother in question. She's my half-sister.
Oh, so she's not leaving.
Right.
She's not going to go
right.
anywhere.
I've tried to talk to her about it before. And
Your dad is exposing his stepdaughter to this.
Right.
Is exposing.
Just say yes.
Yes.
Okay. Our listeners love to spit it back in a jumbled way that makes us think we screwed it up somehow, and then we all get confused and go through it again.
And your mom?
My mom, they divorced about 20 years ago.
And where is she?
She's in another state.
Okay.
Doing fine.
All right. There may not be much you can do about this, except...
How do you know what's going on?
Well, I had my sister up here while she was on summer vacation, and she told me.
What about just being available and providing her a safe haven as much as you possibly can?
Love.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to do, but I live in another state.
But really make that a significant effort. And if you really want to help this situation...
Well, this is your father, your
Her father, and
this is your. Well, how about talking to your father?
If I do that, then I will lose all communication with my sister.
Why?
Because of the father?
My dad and I's relationship is pretty strained. I mean, he beat my mother, and so I was pretty patterned. And
I would also find ways to bring the appropriate authorities in. I mean, domestic violence is a significant. Are you in California right now?
Actually, no, I'm in Michigan.
In California, it's a huge issue right now. I mean, there's all kinds of screening going on and attempt to bring these people to task.
So
wherever you can, anonymously.
OJ got Man of the Year last year because of his. He brought this to the forefront of the American
Denise Brown will not come on this show. I mean, we could talk about this all night.
She won't?
Yeah.
Why won't you come on the show?
It's too risky.
Too risky for what?
I don't know.
Well,
listen, something's up with her. Believe me. And Dad. Believe me. Oh, yes.
Go ahead. And that may be the risk that we're going to expose.
They don't want to get to it. Believe me, Drew cuts to the quick. He gets right to it. All right, hey, Renee.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're trying to say something, but I'm talking, so hold on. I want to talk more about sharks. Hold on. No, I wanted to say, did you ever hook up with an abusive guy?
Of course.
No, actually, I haven't. Mom, my parents got divorced when I was 5. Mom raised me very well.
Oh, Mom got you away from him.
Yeah, got me away from it.
Right
I
away.
see.
Yeah.
And
I never have.
And you don't feel at all comfortable about confronting him or having a talk with him?
Not about his stepwife. I've confronted him when it came to my mother.
All right.
And
again, I think all you can do is really make an effort to stay connected with your stepsister, make a safe place for her to come as frequently as possible,
right.
Put some resources into it. I mean, give her ways to come visit you, and then find ways to bring the local authorities into this situation, at least alert them to what's going on.
Dr. Drew, help me out here. If I think a lot of times these guys, if they get caught or whatever in domestic violence, don't they have to attend some kind of class? And
I'm sure
whether they know it or not, they go into class and they come out of it better people. Hopefully, sometimes they actually tend to learn things. Like why
in an ideal world, yeah.
Yeah, everybody does. I mean, not everybody, but most people who get into some sort of therapy,
they're pissed going in, but coming out, they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but they're pissed, so you can't get them in.
Look, anybody that you provide therapy they respond to feels better afterwards. I mean, a little insight helps every human.
Right.
And a little connection with other people helps them feel better about their feelings, so they deal with them in a more appropriate way. I mean, they feel better when they're therapeutically connected, but some people can't. Some people don't.
All right.
And that's when force of law needs
And listen, my feeling with the cops in domestic dispute is, I can't remember the amount I had worked out, but
3 calls.
You get 3 calls every year.
Well, 3 calls, then you kill them, right?
The 3rd time the guy puts a bullet in somebody.
Right.
Hey, here's the deal. All you screwballs that are marrying other screwballs and tearing up the apartment every night. I don't want my police force coming over to your apartment and breaking you and your wife up every night. Do you know what I'm saying? Here's why I got cops. Here's why I pay the cops. I want them to protect me from criminals. I don't want them getting in between husbands and wives. I mean, think about it.
Wait.
These are people that walked down the aisle together and took vows together. If they come over 3 times, the 3rd time in 1 year, they're putting a bullet into somebody. That's what I want them to do.
You are interested in them protecting the victim, but you're interested in them putting down the victimizer if they won't behave.
I don't care if they put both of them down.
You just don't want them doing it night after night.
No. The victim's going down too, because after the 3rd time, the victim, if they don't get out of there,
right,
deserves a bullet too.
Take a walk.
I'm sorry. I don't care what your daddy did to you. It's been 3 times, and you're an adult now. Get out of there. Meanwhile, I'm being sodomized and duct taped to a chair in my basement because the cops are over at your place again, breaking it up.
Something you want to talk about?
No. I use some therapy myself, and it's all behind me.
I beg your pardon?
All right, wise ass. Sean.
Hi.
You're 20. What's going on?
Oh, well, actually, I had a question for Dr. Drew.
Yeah, Sean.
I've been using heroin since I was 17 years old.
Yeah.
It's about almost 3 years now. And I tried quitting a few times. The longest I've ever gone without it is 10 days, and that was only once, about a year ago. And my withdrawals...
There's a very grave misconception that opiate addicts have that if they could just detox, if they just get off the drug, they'd be fine.
Yeah.
And that is never the case.
Are you high now?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
You are? He's high?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I sort of found a way that seems to make...
But Sean, listen to me. The withdrawal is not the issue. Anybody can withdraw off heroin. It's no big deal. It's not a problem. There's 20 ways to do it. It's no big deal. The problem is staying off it, and that is extremely difficult, and it requires an extraordinary commitment to treatment and a high element of structure in your life.
Right.
And you cannot do that by yourself. It is not biologically possible. So if you're going to detox, if you're going to go through that misery, go check yourself into sober living, get connected in NA, do something that will allow you, provide you the opportunity to stay off the drug.
Isn't this talk better done tomorrow when he's kind of a little more sober?
He'll never be off. If he's off more than 4 hours.
But if he's high now...
Hold on, I got a plan. Sean, this is Jesus Christ. I rarely make appearances on Loveline, but I thought in your case, take a chance if the FCC doesn't catch on to this. Hey, Drew, you're standing on my rope. Could you back off just a little bit? Thank you.
Hard to see.
You like the Hirachis? Thank you. All right, Sean.
Yeah.
I'm using all of my powers and focusing them on you and your sobriety. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I have much work to do in this land. You know, I don't, it's not like I just visit the United States. I sometimes go to Canada, but rarely Mexico.
Okay.
Very dangerous. Even Jesus could get in trouble there, and they use the Lord's name in vain. Every 3rd kid's named after me. All right, Sean, I've given you the strength of Zeus and 1,000 mortal men. You will be able to kick this demon that you inject into your veins. It is liquid. It should not be called heroin. It should be called Satan. This is the work of the devil. He makes it in his lab. He puts it into the syringe, and you in turn put that into your vein.
Yes.
All right, my child. Go forth, and don't procreate, please. And that goes for the rest of you stoners. Hey, Drew, what's that?
I don't know. That's kind of a second. Sean, Andy, heroin addicts are never not high. If they're not high, they're detoxing, and they can't think then either.
Wow.
That's the way heroin is.
He sounded really high.
Yeah, he's not even as badly in the grips of this disease as some people get. I mean, it affects their thinking when they really get into it. They are all over the place. It's just a very difficult disease to treat. It's why people can't hang in with treatment or get through a detox, because their brain is just so impulsive and so out of control, and the thought process is so derailed that literally, I've told many of these people that really get into the more serious biology of this disease, if I could just put them in a room and lock the door for 60 days, you have a totally different person 60 days out. I mean, it's just the personality is different.
They're 30 pounds lighter.
At least.
They're dehydrated. They're pissed off.
Bed sores.
All right. Listen, all you idiots who, I don't want to sound like McGruff, the crime dog here, but don't try heroin.
Don't try heroin.
You may like it. You know what I mean? I I couldn't imagine that life. Now, let's take a break, because I got to get some coffee. This pie's cleaving to the roof of my mouth. All right, we'll be back. The Loveline.
You got to be an alcoholic, basically, to get addicted that quickly.
Andy Lauer's here from Carolla in the city. 9 o'clock, NBC, Monday nights. This Monday, that's the big premiere.
And I'm naked.
New season. Oh, yeah. I just saw the spot tonight. Caroline's naked, too.
She's naked, too.
Yeah. It's good. And she was holding her hands over her boobs, right?
Probably the promo you saw, not the promo I saw.
Yeah, you got to see some boobie, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because she took her hands off. I mean, here's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, how much clearer could it be?
She turned her back, you saw her back was bare, and then removed her hands. And I always wonder, do they have some sort of duct tape or something on there, or did you just give you a free shot?
Band-Aids.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I kid you not.
Really?
Yeah.
We live in a weird society, don't we?
Band-Aids.
Band-Aids
I know, you
over
can
the
see
nipples?
everything except the nipple, and that makes it like...
So in
I saw
order...
nothing.
In order to technically do that shot where someone is obviously wearing no shirt and it's a woman and her hands are covering her breasts and then she turns her back to the camera and flaps her arms over her head so that behind her obviously you see nothing but her spine, but whoever's in front of her should see her boobs. And the way you avoid actually exposing your boobs to your castmates is...
Band-Aids. That's on the female side. We have a whole other set of...
No, I could use a Band-Aid.
Yeah, Adam could do it.
I could use one of those little ones they put on warts, the little round ones.
Yeah, the dots.
Right.
Spots.
I'd cover my testicles, and then I'd probably freak everyone out with like a Flintstones type one or whatever those Barney. I don't know if they have. Do the kids have those these days?
Oh, are you kidding?
So they can associate Barney with pain.
Whatever you want. I mean, it's anything.
All right.
They collect them.
Andy, you're not serious that she had Band-Aids?
Yeah, I'm quite serious.
Really?
Yeah, I would say the medium-sized Band-Aid. For the...
Just over nipples?
For the not such a big cut, but still it's bleeding.
She's not a large-breasted woman.
Easy.
Well, that's not a bad thing. I'm just Cindy Crawford was in Playboy last month. She's not a large-breasted woman either.
That's a big paintbrush thing anyway. I've met a bunch of, well, not a bunch.
Yeah, Cindy Crawford. You meet her in real life. She's 10 miles of bad road. Just festering boils. She looks about 280, 290. A hair growing out of every orifice. I mean, she's a mess, this girl.
That's nice.
No, I met her. She did something I worked on, and she looks the same. She's spectacular. Anyway, you're dead serious with the Band-Aids.
Yeah, I think it's common.
So you're just looking at Band-Aids while her hands are over her head.
Okay. Not really. I mean,
Sheila.
Like this?
This is Sheila and Susie. Remember having the slumber party?
Oh, yeah.
oh, these two?
Yeah.
The people I put them on hold?
Yep.
Wow. They were like the first, second call of the night or something?
That's dedicated.
They've been on hold for 75 minutes
And
now.
you still can't get the question out.
Go ahead, Sheila.
Oh, this is Candace. Okay. Our question is, we constantly call this, phone line, and it's for adults. It's the stating line, where you, record this greeting, and you talk about yourself, and then you just kind of talk to other people, and we just constantly call it, and sometimes we call with, really funny things, and just have a lot of fun, but we get kicked off all the time, but...
What's the question?
And we were wondering, is there anything wrong with that? Should we change a little pastime game, or...
You're 15, right?
Yeah.
And how old is your friend? 15?
We're both 15.
And are you just screwing around with people, or do you have any intention?
Yeah, we're just, screwing around. So.
You don't have any intention of meeting them?
No.
Okay. There's no big deal, but here's the deal. It sets a sort of dangerous precedent.
How am I going to contain the phone and the computer and the television in my house?
Here's what Drew has triplets, and they're going to go all insane in about
3 years.
No, you give them a few more years.
Oh, good.
I'll check for pubic hair. I know it'd be uncomfortable for you, but I'll do it in year 2005. See if anything's coming in. You'll hear me from the bathroom. No, Douglas is clear. Next. But here's what you do, Drew. You have to run your whole house on a generator, and then whenever you leave, you just kick the generator, and they light candles.
Okay.
No phone, no
Yeah,
computer, no
right.
modems. You shut everything down.
Okay, good.
You understand?
Yeah.
Okay. No communication with the outside world.
Right.
Here's my worry. It scares me that 15-year-old girls are toying with older, horny, possibly drunken men.
It's just a crank call.
I understand that, but
it's a crank
It is
call.
a crank call. Nothing wrong with what they're doing. It's we're concerned with what the guys at the other end.
here's
might do.
all I'm saying.
Infect them.
They're mischievous, these two, and they're going to get on the internet and they're going to start chatting with some guy, and eventually they're going to tell him to meet him at the mall, and he's going to rape her in the parking lot in his van. I'm just saying,
Or even
it might not go that bad.
God knows what other things that that these guys on the other end of the line could expose them to. I mean, 15.
All right.
They might not be looking for the kinds of stuff they get from
Right,
these guys.
you do what we did when we were kids. You call the liquor
refrigerator.
store and you ask them if they have if the refrigerator's running, or if they have Dr. Pepper in a can.
Right.
Let them out. Right. I can't remember what it was in the can.
Some coffee guy.
Was it coffee?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Did people
Prince Albert.
Do you have Prince Albert in a can?
Right.
Yeah, we do. Could you let him out? You hang up. I mean, does anyone even do that anymore?
I don't think so.
No.
They're on to much more interesting
They have to fire shots in order to
they
have a good time,
they
don't
call
they?
sex hotlines.
Yeah. They get on the computer. Do weird stuff.
Could you imagine? Think about all your screwball friends. And forget about you, Drew. Andy? Let's you and I think about the guys we went to like junior high and high school with. Now,
The Ronnie Graftons, the Richard Hartogs.
Imagine, all right, all those guys. And more. And now, I had my friend, we lived in the valley.
The
so these
Stuart
guys,
Tobins.
these guys were even worse. Biggest jack-offs in the world. Can you imagine these guys with a computer and the internet, talking to chicks?
Oh,
chicks
my
that lived in
God.
different countries,
They would never go to
across the
school.
nation.
You would never see them. Except when they came up to the jacuzzi
It'd just be complete insanity. And imagine the amount of pornography that comes over to these things and all your weird, horny buddies at 14, 15 years old, and how much time. Oh, my God.
That's why I asked that girl earlier if she was athletically inclined, because that's what kept us basically straight.
Yeah, you just went
Athletics.
outside and beat the crap out of each other playing basketball or baseball or whatever. Lacey,
Hi.
what's going on?
Well, first of all, I'm supposed to tell you guys for my friend that you guys are handsome. Anyways, about a year and a half ago, my mom got AOL, American Online, and I started
No, Drew, don't give me that whole pie. Why aren't you eating that pie?
Because he's...
Bastard.
Andy made me very self-conscious tonight, too.
He's coming on TV in a little while.
No, Andy called him fat.
In so many words.
All right, go ahead, Lacey.
Okay, sorry. Anyways, and I started wanting a boyfriend then or something, and ever since then, it's I've gone through lots of boyfriends off of there, and I know it's stupid, and it's had me steal from my family and other people, trying to do stuff for
Hang on a second. Anybody following?
I think her mom wanted a boyfriend, so she got AOL.
No.
Thank you for making Drew's point, though, by the
Which
way.
is a
Andy.
non-infectious...
You got on AOL, what we were just talking about, and you started chatting with guys.
Yeah,
And you said
and-
you got boyfriends, but did you meet these guys?
No.
All right, so you just chatted with them.
But it's made me start stealing from my family and stuff, and ruin relationships with my family.
Stealing what?
Money.
Why? What are these relationships
To
do?
pay for what?
Phone cards.
Oh, because you're really compulsively involved in these relationships.
Yeah, and I
see.
And I knew it was wrong and everything. And
I see.
my friend thinks that it's because I've never had a figure, a manly figure in my life or whatever.
Okay.
That I need that.
Yes.
But tomorrow, if I don't come up with $150, then I get charges pressed against me and everything.
I think this is like many other compulsive behaviors. You're going to have to face the consequences before you start getting involved with the solution.
Couldn't you just steal the 150? No, it's that bad.
I mean, you need to come to grips with reality here a little bit. And environment, needs to reel you in.
Yeah, as a matter of fact,
this is good that these things are happening.
Listen, when you talk to most people who were arrested for, going out on a crack binge or whatever it is, whatever consequence was brought down upon them, they always say,
thank goodness.
Thank God someone did that. Thank God I was arrested. Thank God there was an intervention. Thank God my folks had me arrested. Thank God I was dragged off here or kept there. I mean, that's the turning point in their life. And Lacey doesn't have the problems that these people have, but the point is she's spinning out of control a little bit, and that's good. We'll just reel her in.
She's 15?
Yeah, she's all right.
Yeah, this is a good thing.
Yeah.
Get arrested.
Get arrested. Suzanne.
Yes.
You're 22.
Yeah, I have 2 questions for you. For Dr. Drew, actually. I was listening last night, and a guy really, at the end of the show, was asking about, or telling about his symptoms, and said something about Cushing's disease. I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit more about that, because...
Cushing's disease, or Cushing's syndrome, more specifically, is the result of excess cortisol.
Okay.
Your adrenal glands are responsible for producing an important hormone in your body called cortisol, and if it overproduces, or if you take a medication that is similar to that, like prednisone, you will become Cushionoid, which is central obesity, muscular wasting, diabetes, cataracts. I mean, it's just a whole syndrome that develops.
Okay.
And it can be caused by either pituitary abnormalities that overstimulate the adrenal glands, or tumors in the adrenal glands themselves.
Okay, and is this, is it something that needs to be taken care of?
Oh, yes.
Really serious?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Why?
Well, I was just curious because my brother was telling me about a rash that he had, and also he has had stretch marks, kind of similar to what the guy was saying.
The stretch marks of Cushing are typically right around, sort of around the belly button, going out towards the flanks.
Okay.
And they're purple and big.
Well, because
But just a male who goes through a big growth spurt and who's slightly overweight can get some of that too.
Okay. Okay. Well, I was curious because
I got stretch marks everywhere but my penis.
I'm sorry.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Does any guy ever have stretch marks on his penis?
No. It's meant to be stretched, you
I
see.
knew that they were on his stomach, but they're...
That wouldn't be great to have stretch marks on your penis?
You probably have them on your testes.
Now, which direction would you want? Who knows? My testes. I can't. It's like this. It looks like a calf's brain. Really.
Okay.
I can't make my testes out. I mean, the deep grooves and lines. It's like some kind of planet or something.
The Dartos tunic.
I couldn't find anything going on those testes. I just know there's a right and there's a left. But which way would you want the stretch marks on your penis going? That's a very interesting question. Would you want them going around to make it look girthier, or up and down to make it look longer?
Something's wrong with his testicle?
Victoria Jackson. That's Victoria Jackson.
Okay.
Where the hell did you get that?
I have another question.
No, that's enough.
Yeah, what is it?
Okay, I'm curious if you can tell me a little, physical and mental consequences of doing cocaine, because someone that...
Doing it once?
Cocaine, snorting cocaine.
Doing it once?
Well, I don't really know. Someone close to me...
All right, listen, I don't care what someone's doing.
Yeah.
Don't forget it.
Her
brother's doing coke now.
Cocaine can kill you in a single exposure, from causing heart attacks and strokes and arrhythmias of the heart. But it usually happens to people that are using a fair amount. It can cause blood supply problems to the inner surface of the heart. It can cause seizures. It causes severe addiction, obviously, and if people are using it regularly, they can get panic attacks and mood instability, kind of like a manic depressive syndrome that can persist for
Hey, Drew.
Yeah.
How many people really have done coke once and died?
That would be unusual.
Don't they sort of always paint it that way? I don't know. Who was it?
Len Bias?
Len Bias.
Yeah, believe me, that was not one exposure. I promise you.
How do you know?
It just doesn't happen like that.
Len Bias was going to basketball...
College.
Yeah.
College basketball player.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on a second. There's a guy dropped dead on the floor, but that wasn't Len Bias, was it?
That was different.
That was another guy. That was a heart disease.
Yeah, right.
He wasn't doing coke during halftime. Right. Then there was Len Bias, who was a basketball player who just got drafted.
Yeah.
Big money and all that. Another guy, was it... true. Well, maybe you'll know because it's a drug thing. It's always a tough call because they're athletes, so you know Drew knows nothing. But on the other hand, there's a medical condition there, so he may be on top of it. And Engineer Mike, listen up. Who was the defensive back for I think it was the Cleveland Browns, maybe it was Don Rogers, or somebody like that about 10 years ago who died of cocaine? One thing, mid-'80s, late '80s.
Anyway, what's the question about it?
I'm just saying, sometimes you hear a guy, and the media paints it as if he was at a party. You know, he was a choir boy. He was at a party. Someone put a line in front of him. He did a line, and he keeled over.
No, it never. Let's put it this way. I have seen loads of cocaine-induced seizures, cocaine-induced heart attacks. When I was in training, if somebody came in with a heart attack under the age of 30, we didn't even have to ask them if they were doing cocaine. But it was never the case that it was just a single exposure to cocaine and somebody came in with a heart attack. Never.
Why? What's the multiple exposure do?
It takes pretty high. Cocaine causes vessel constriction, arterial constriction. It was originally developed as a topical anesthetic. It applied to the surface of the nose and would create anesthesia and stop bleeding. Well, it turns out that the systemic effects include this vasoconstrictive property, and the more you use, the worse that becomes. The stickier the blood becomes, more likely it is to form a clot. The higher the oxygen demands of the heart as the heart rate goes up, and it's being driven by the stimulant.
But couldn't that just happen from one go round?
Take a big really unusual.
You mean have to do it night after night to sort of build that up?
That or go on one pretty good binge. You know, if you went out on one huge binge, it could happen, sure.
All right.
But not, one line.
Andy and I were thinking about smoking opium after the show. Is that cool, or is that, what's that do to you?
Not a good idea.
I can do that?
Not a good idea.
What do you think?
Opium, people have a misconception about opiates, too. I mean, people who are biologically prone to addiction from opiates, they get exposed even at relatively low levels, and a switch kind of goes off. They're sort of, that's it.
You got that, Andy?
Then you're
listening.
Then you're after it.
Uh-huh. Very dangerous. What kind of high is smoking opium?
As people that are biologically prone to the euphoria of opiates experience it as the greatest thing ever.
What about
Some people experience marijuana that way too.
Oh, really?
Adam, I'm worried about. Andy, I don't know.
Do you think there's
do
you think there's a person that smoked opium that hasn't loved it?
Yes. Oh, sure. Absolutely. Some people get sick and vomit and feel terrible.
I was just in Thailand.
You have to have a good experience.
I could have gone to an opium den.
Listen, you have to be biologically set up to have a positive experience, or you can have a miserable experience.
Huh?
Hey, Drew and Andy, what happened to Thai stick? Well, that's like in high school or junior high. They got some Thai stick. Brad's got Thai stick.
Oh,
really? Yeah. I never saw it.
Passed up by whatever is being produced now in Mexico in hydroponics.
But what was Thai stick? Was it
wrapped in?
Was it weed that was growing around a stick? Was it like a hot dog on a stick? Was it some? Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff. It's like someone told me. I heard someone talking about lid the other day. Where I was trying to figure out where the amount lid. Yeah, it's bringing you back.
Hello.
About people used to buy back in the day. People would buy a lid of pot.
Wasn't that a finger? It was.
Well, finger was like the baggie, I think, but a lid, I don't know what a lid was, but here's an interesting lid thing. People used to use a shoebox lid to like sort of sort and seed and stem and, this is the bad stuff, this is the good stuff, this is stuff we give to Phil. Like one of your buddies that hangs around. And the point is maybe that's the lid.
Fill the shoebox lid.
Yeah, but that seems like too much. All right. Anyway, more drug talk with Andy Lauer from Carolla in the City after this. It is Loveline. Andy Lauer is here from Carolla in the City. The season premiere is 9 o'clock this Monday. All right. NBC. Drew?
Yeah.
You know what's weird? Actually, I was watching Friends tonight, and actually it's a very dangerous trend. A couple of years ago, I guess it was a couple of years ago, they started putting what they call bugs down in the lower right-hand part of your screen that says, has a little NBC Peacock, or it says Fox, or whatever. It's like a little, they call them bugs, someone told me, and it's like a little transparent logo that you sort of see, but it doesn't really bother you too much. Although it's kind of weird when you're supposed to be in Joey and Chandler's apartment, and there's a little NBC thing down, like where the ottoman is. But this time, there was a little bug down there that they kept on for a few minutes during Friends saying, next week, season premiere. And I'm thinking,
what else is coming?
Pretty soon it's going to say Pepsi.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they're just going to keep...
Yeah. Satan lives.
That'll be nice. Right. All right, it'll be written backwards. But the point is is I thought someone's going to have to get in and regulate this because they're going to start spinning out. The bug's going to start taking over, and 10 years from now, we're looking at a little corner of the show up in the upper left-hand part of the thing, and the whole thing's going to be taken over by some logo or something.
You know, I bet why they call it the bug. Not this is terribly interesting to anybody, but you know those, when you look at certain kinds of bright lights, you see those sort of clear things going past your vision once in a while?
Yeah.
The French call it the mouche volante, which is the fleeting bug.
Oh, really?
And they're see-through like that. So.
Andy was saying he calls those trailers. That's after some mushrooms or some bad acid. Bill.
Hello.
You're 17.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what a lid is?
Yep.
And, you know, we get in this conversation about twice a month here.
And so far, every caller that's called in after we've had this conversation comes up with something totally ridiculous.
Right. We really need Tommy Chong to call in and straighten out this whole mess. But go ahead, Bill. You're 17, and I know from Loveline experience we're not going to get a satisfactory answer out of you.
Just because we're saying that, he'll probably come up with it.
All right. Now you've jinxed it again, the other way. All right, go ahead, Bill.
Okay, I have an uncle who used to deal a lot, so I know this, that a lid came out to be roughly an ounce.
No, we know that, but we don't know where the term came from.
Oh, I don't know where the term came from. I'll help you on that one.
Dude, I knew we wouldn't be satisfied. All right, thanks, Bill.
But
sorry, I tried.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, Bill needs to watch out for the marijuana, too, a little bit, I think.
It's nice, though. You got a cousin that deals, you know, or an uncle that deals. That's nice.
Oh, Christ.
Beth.
Hi.
Hey, you're 21. What's going on?
Well, basically, I'm having a hard time articulating this exactly, but...
Well, I'll read the screen then.
Okay, go ahead.
You're still a virgin.
Mm-hmm.
Men only want to go out with you a few times, and you won't give it up.
So they reject you because you won't become physically intimate. Is that right?
Oh.
I guess that was right.
Basically, that's the problem.
So it's good. You found a way to
Stick
test.
with your guns.
Yeah, you
So
found a way to
happy
find
later.
out. Yes, you found a way to ascertain whether these guys are worthwhile or not. The guy that hangs in is the one that you want to hang in with.
I know, but I feel like it's taking
Very
I
frustrating.
just feel like the longer I wait, the weirder it gets. I feel like I feel like the oldest virgin alive right now, and I'm just like, I feel like the longer I wait, the weirder it gets.
I think Engineer Mike's the oldest virgin alive, actually. I think he's like a third.
What do you mean weirder it gets? What does that mean? The more difficult it is for you to go out with guys because you know that's going to be a big issue?
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute. How many dates do these guys go out with you on before they dump you because you won't give it up?
Okay, this summer I dated 5 guys.
Mm-hmm.
The longest that any of them went out with me was 4 times, and every single time it was because I wouldn't sleep with them.
Nope.
It doesn't fit.
Doesn't fit.
Right.
If a guy is, listen, let's all just close our eyes and pretend we're going out with a 21-year-old we're really into. You're around for a while, especially if you give up low oral sex or something.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They don't give me a chance.
No, the point is a guy.
They're not into you.
They're not. You're choosing the wrong guy. Well, you're for sure choosing the wrong guy. But there's something about the way they perceive their involvement with you. They're not into it.
Right.
And that's the issue. It's not the virginity. It's not how you feel about that.
We're not trying to be too cruel here, Beth, but you understand we only have a short period of time, and it's not like we know you, so we can go ahead and do it. And everyone who's listening knows what's up, too, so we can't be nice. So you are putting all this on the virginity, and it's a very convenient excuse, but these guys aren't into you. Now, whether that's a problem with them or a problem with you, I don't know, but they're not into you.
Or a problem with the choice of who you're going to go out with.
Right.
You see? What do you think it is?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're...
Which do you think it is? A little bit of both?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I keep finding all these guys who are sex crazed, basically, and I don't know...
Why do you go out with that kind of guy?
I don't do it on purpose. I don't know how it happens, and...
It's almost like it's something in there that makes you want to bait them and then reject them. Like you want to cut them off.
Well, just the fact that you're bringing it up is a problem.
Yeah, but it's like she looks for... I mean, now these guys are sex crazed.
Well,
and then she has to cut them off.
I'm just
exaggerating. But don't get jaded. Keep your virginity for the right guy.
Why the castrating?
Are you religious?
Well, no, I just haven't found the right guy.
Do you want to keep your virginity until you're married?
No, not necessarily.
Okay, all right, hold on a second. That's a ridiculous notion then, because every guy, if she's not keeping it until she's married, thinks he's got a shot. Listen, not all, but quite a few women approach a relationship that way, which is they're not keeping it until they get married, but you're going to have to work to get it. And guys, that's one of the few things guys get up off their ass for, is a shot at that brass ring.
There's a strange narcissism there where guys want to be the one.
Right.
They're going to prove it.
Right. So, Beth, something's up with you. You're picking the wrong guys. You're falling back on a sort of weird excuse. There's something going on. You're using.
What am I supposed to do?
Well, you gotta look into yourself a little bit and figure out what's going on and what your motivation is and why you're doing it. But don't just blame the guys, and don't blame the virginity.
And don't just sleep with a guy because you feel like that's something that's getting in the way.
I'm picking up on something here. You're pissed off at your mom about something?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
You pissed off at your dad about something?
No.
What? Anything ever happen to you?
What happened?
What happened?
Well, nothing really happened. I dated a real asshole.
How old were you then?
18.
No, before then.
There's something really going on here with your. This this is a repetitive acting out you're doing, and it has a real. I don't know why. I mean,
it just feels like something does.
Yeah.
Anything ever happened to you? You sure?
Oh yeah, no.
Your dad never disappointed you in some substantial way?
No.
Your parents are still together?
Mm-hmm.
Alcoholism?
Nope.
Opiate abuse?
No.
Why are you so screwed up then? Let me just.
Did you ever have an eating disorder?
I'm not screwed up.
Did you ever have an eating disorder?
Wait a minute. Why does she have to have some?
I know she doesn't, but
dysfunctional.
She's got an energy going on to her.
The more we talk to her, the more we're sort of picking up on something here. I mean,
really?
Yeah.
Well, you guys do this.
What your 18-year-old? When you're 18, what's your screwed up boyfriend do to you?
Well, he was just really very verbally abusive to me.
That was it.
And then when it started getting physical, I broke up with him.
He started getting physically abusive.
Yes.
But when you were a kid, no one physically hit you or anything like that.
No.
The dad never took his belt off and whacked you.
Nope.
Okay, dad and mom together.
Yep.
Something's up.
Something's up.
Yeah, you can just feel it.
All right, Beth. Are you not coming clean with us?
No, I
She may not be aware. I mean, she may.
Okay. Well, I don't. But you dumped the guy when he got physically abusive, right?
Beth, leave it to Cleaver family. Perfect family.
Yes.
Perfect.
Perfect.
You never had an eating disorder.
No, I didn't.
Ballet lessons?
No.
When you were 2?
No.
All right. Well, then you have no excuses. Good. You're in the clear. Go ahead and act sane.
Just remember, there's no such thing as a perfect family. So just take a look at what's really going on there and what your feelings are.
All right, but Beth, just pick different guys, would you, please?
Well,
please.
I'm trying.
Pick the ones you aren't so attracted
to. Okay, but wait a minute. Wait.
No, we've done enough time with you.
We have to go, Beth. I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right.
We could have gotten there.
I don't know. There was something up with her.
Yeah.
Because they're
just. Let's go. We'll talk about the break.
It's driving me nuts.
Yeah.
No, wait. Well, let me see if someone's been on hold for 1,000
we have to
years.
go to break.
Oh, you're
I got
shut up.
Pretty well.
Where are you going?
We're fine. I got through everybody. I did.
What was Erica?
No. That's a big one.
It's a big one?
We'll talk to her on Sunday.
Okay. All right, we'll be back. All right, that's it. Hey, that was fast, wasn't it?
You know what? Aside from Andy being good, there were great calls tonight.
Was that what that was?
Yeah, those were really good calls.
I think I was exceptional.
I thought you were exceptional.
Thanks, Andy. It's cool.
I particularly appreciate your cameo appearance, but beyond that.
All right.
Wait. Let me get these people out to the.
Oh, yeah. Let's. You want this information?
Nobody won this, by the way.
Yeah, because I don't really know.
Well, why don't you let me get it out? Or you mean you're talking about the Zuma Beach triathlon?
Take it away, by all means.
Sunday at 7:30 a.m. It is a free event. It's at Zuma Beach out here in beautiful sunny Southern California. It's the Malibu Celebrity Triathlon. And it benefits Elizabeth Grazier Pediatric AIDS Foundation. So, Elizabeth, was that Paul Michael?
Paul.
Oh, is that Grazier or Glazer? No.
Grazier, is it?
Was it him whose wife died of AIDS? Starsky and Hutch?